I am in the comic room. It is Thursday, very late in January 2021. And for whatever reason, I felt like making a video today. So I threw a whole bunch of uh, random thoughts into the title of this thing. And I thought I would just talk about some of that stuff and maybe some other stuff. I might even miss some of the stuff I said I was going to hit and hit some of the stuff that I didn't even write down. That's how my videos are. I had a great comment the other day. Someone said, man, you cover a lot of territory. And I guess that's how it should be. I haven't been doing these COPA warnings. I don't know if anyone does COPA warnings anymore. That might have been something that happened and went away. But there's my COPA warning, okay? No kiddos. And so if you are a kiddo, come back later when you're not a kiddo, because Silver doesn't have a whole lot of cash laying around that I could pay big fines for whatever the harm a Silver Age Day video would do to the young people out there. Hopefully no harm at all, but we never know. So come back later. I appreciate you. This is grown-up boring stuff. So I thought I would start by talking about some speculation thoughts. As I watch YouTube comic community videos, what I'm finding is, I'm going to click on the thing here so I can see what's going on. Up, hey, Ruben's in here. Nice to see you, Ruben. A lot of the videos I see are going to fall into a couple of categories, okay? And there's certainly always going to be the category I love, and it's what's coming up. And I think Jim Comics does probably the most efficient and educational job of it. Bueller really made a name for himself with those types of videos, and I love them. But there's lots and lots of guys who do those types of videos. And I'm not going to go through naming names, but there's a lot of them out there. I love those. There's speculation videos that are out there, which I also enjoy. What's hot and what's not. I'm going to throw Comic Tom out there, but certainly there's lots of them. Daz, the Key Chaser, he does a great job. Justice for Comics does a nice job reviewing what's going on, what's hot right now, and what was hot. There's videos on that. And then there's the general hangout videos, which I really enjoy, that are just fun. And there's lots of those. I was watching yesterday while I was out running. I was watching Gray Man and Matilda Gothica. We're just having a great chat, and there was a handful of us in there, and I was just running and listening. But it was nice to hear just general thoughts and ideas on things. And then there's the fun shows. Like I really love shows that bring the community together. I think Great Legend was one of the earliest ones I knew of doing these come together. Everyone gets a shout out, fun videos. Hey, good morning, Macedon. And Warlord's in here. Hello, Warlord. So the general get together chats pop in, and there have been many people who have done those types of shows. There was at one point Luther Manning had a show that he did with a couple people, E.T.A. Nick, and forgive my memory, I just shouted him out the other day. I'll think of it in a second. Anthony, darn it. So there were those shows, and so anyway, long story short, I love the YouTube community. I've been very embraced. But there's all kinds of different things, and I don't do much in the matter of speculation videos. But I saw one the other day that was interesting, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do my own spin on a speculation video. And the thing that I don't see discussed very often in speculation is where you are in life, which I think is very, very important. And I was reminiscing the other day. I happened to to grab this. I have my original D&D books. Let me see if I can point to them. They are right there is where I keep my original D&D books. Okay, let me put this back. And this is, I think this is a fourth edition or fourth printing of the Monster Manual. Let me find it here. I thought I saw it earlier. It's not a first. Yeah, fourth edition, August 1979. And I remember driving to Toys R Us, my mom driving me there. $8.94 is what we spent on it. And it was a beautiful day. And I have, not the same day, but I have my DM guide. I have my Deities and Demigods, which is a first edition. The DM guide is I want to say it's a second edition, but it's a revised. So they had a first one and then they revised it, and that's the one I have. But when we talk about speculation, there's something that needs to be said for age. For a lot of us in the community, us older crew, the older guys in the community, we started when we were, 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 is when we started buying books, when we started our love affair with this hobby. And things that we've acquired have been acquired slowly and gradually over time. Okay, it's like, how stalactites and stalagmites are made. It's not artificial. It's not just, hey, I'm jumping in, I'm going to be a new cave and have all this cool stuff. It doesn't work like that. It's acquired over time. So in the speculation, there's certainly money to be made, I guess, if that's what you're trying to do. And I don't begrudge anyone that. I love making money. But it's tricky if that's your goal and this is your hobby. I think there's a lot of other things that would be a lot easier and a lot more dependable than hey, I know nothing about comics, but I'm going to get busy being successful with comics. So age is certainly a big player in there. What's your background? And, in my case, I've been doing this so long that that I'm passionate about it and I love it. But, recently I came to the revelation that I've been doing it longer than I have left. And, that's an interesting place in the continuum, is to be on that downhill, which is really fun, by the way, when you can go through your collection and find stuff that's, the hot book, you got to go out and get one, and you open a box and you've got a couple of them. That's a really nice place to be, but it doesn't happen overnight. When you watch these videos, you're seeing a lot of people who have either collected like Silver has over time, slowly, gradually building, or you see someone who went out maybe and mortgaged their house to get a bunch of these hot books. And is there going to be profit in them? Sometimes there is, but sometimes there's not. And so it's very important when you watch speculation videos to know where you're at in life. And the third thing in there that's not counted is time. I do a lot of buying and selling on eBay. Not as much comic selling. I've been doing that lately. But I love eBay. I love buying and selling on eBay. And in person, in local market. There's time involved. So, years ago, I made a comic video asking, what have you given up for this hobby? And one of the answers that people keyed in on, I think Rags was one of them. Rags 718, I think, is his channel. But one of the things he and many of the people keyed in on is time. Is this hobby, like any, you have to sacrifice time. If you build model trains, if you do anything, there's time involved, and this hobby is no different. So speculation, those are three of the things I think about frequently, and it's important to realize that it doesn't just fall together. It's not a quick, like, you just start today, unless you're that person who won the $1 billion or whatever. Then you can do whatever you want. But anyway, those are some general thoughts on speculation. So I'm at a place where I have started downsizing a little bit the collection. I'm still as passionate as I've ever been. I'm still buying comic books and working towards things. But those are some general thoughts. Okay, so we're here for the comics, and I thought I'll move on from that if there's no other questions or thoughts on it. Um, Jay Boxer, who I shouted out the other day, he's the one who gifted me AOK'd the Marvel mini book little collection series. And I opened that. Thank you, Dr. Von Chilla, who urged me to open that book up, that collection set up. So Jay Boxer sent me an email, and he was asking me about this particular set. This is the Spider-Verse Walmart variant. And these came out a while ago. And what was cool on here, I don't know who in the community found this, but the actual barcode on it shows that, I'll try to focus in. Give me a second here, guys. The barcode on it shows that it is issue number 1, 6th cover, first printing. Okay, and I think I have those in the right order. But it's basically a first print. It says number 1 variant edition. And it's a really cool cover. And I bought it originally because it's got Spider-Gwen on it, and I have a Spider-Gwen in my household. But I thought it was cool, and so I bought a bunch of these when they came out. And it's like everything else. It's the Spider-Verse comic book, identical on the interior, and it just happens to be cool. So I don't know, last month I happened to be in Walmart and I noticed that it was out again. And so I grabbed a bunch of them. I thought, oh, they must have had a whole bunch more in the Walmart factory. I don't know where they keep these things. Somewhere they must have come across some, so I bought some. But what I realized when I brought them back into my collection room, what I realized is the Spider-Verse logo is slightly different. Okay, and I think Walmart's doing that. The Venom 25 cover they use some different color variants. Okay, but what Jay Boxer, he sent me an email, and I'm gonna open this. Dr. Von Chilla's got me on a roll here, so I'm gonna open this because I haven't opened it. What Jay Boxer says is it's identical on the inside. And he sent me a picture of the barcode, and the barcode looks the same. And I don't know, I don't have mine open yet. That's what I'm doing right here. I don't know how they could get away with that if these are latter printings, but it's showing a first printing. So we're going to find out together. I do buy, not for speculation purposes, I guess, but I do buy the Walmart variants when I see them, if they're interesting, or if Alex the Comic Hoarder tells me to buy one. If he says they're good, then I buy them. And there's a few other people out there that buy Walmart books and open them up. So what we have here sounds like a Guns N' Roses song, right? What we have here is, this is actually 161. So it's exactly the same as the other book, and unfortunately this has characteristic Walmart damage. This is what happens, I'll show you this corner, when it's in these wrapped tightly packs, is sometimes you end up with a little bit of damage. So there's my corner. I don't see anything color breaking, and that means maybe this will be one of my test books when I get my press up and running. I own it, I just don't have the electrical power to run it just yet. But this says 161 on it. So this is the Walmart variant that came out later than this Walmart variant. They both say 161, which I don't understand how it would say 161 on it. It would seem like there would be some bookmaking legality. Maybe we can class action lawsuit and make a bunch of money. But interestingly, now on the inside, it does say number one, January 2021 on it, okay, where this one has 2019. So they are differentiated on the inside. Uh, yeah, this says December 2019 on it. So I guess I'm not sure. I thought the barcodes always represent that it would be the sixth cover, second printing, if that's the case. And the indica in here indicates that that's the case. So yes, Vinci, I am calling shenanigans with the help of J-Boxer, I am. And I've got Logan in here. Good morning, Logan. Nice to see you, buddy. I don't see... Now, my eyesight's bad. These are my new glasses, everyone, which I don't know if I'm going to wear them a whole lot because I think they make things worse. Because when I take them off, I'm all blurry-eyed. I don't like to be dependent on anything. But I don't see anywhere in here where it says second printing. But it does have the January 2021. So go figure. Maybe there's someone out there who knows more about this stuff who can straighten me out so I understand. But basically what you have is you have a bluish gray 2019 printing, and then you have, this is more of a whitish or maybe a cream or a silver. Well, I'm going to call it the second printing 2021. Interesting. So I'm still buying them. If I see them, I'm going to buy a bunch. And my motivation is that it's got a spider going on it, but someone else's motivation might be, I'm going to speculate on this stuff. Who knows? The other book in there, I've got a Fallen Angels #2, and I've got, oh, Star Wars. Look at that. Star Wars Greatest Moments variant, 7 of 36. We got Death and Birth. This says number 62. Oh, and we got the Captain Marvel ad. That's another one they did, was that Captain Marvel variant where she's got the long, fiery hair. They did another one where they had a second printing, and I did buy some of those. And I can't remember if that was Alex the Comic Hoarder that originally showed off that first Captain Marvel variant, but you know, in the long run, who knows if they're good to have or not. This collection has been built slowly, brick by brick, and I guess I'm continuing that trend. So, hey, I want to say hello to Ron Hensley. Good morning. Yeah, you know what? We got snow a few days ago, Ron, and I actually went running in it yesterday. I went out to Oak Openings. I did a little over 11 miles on snow and ice. And it was a lovely day, 27 degrees. So I was dressed warm, hustling, and feeling good. And speaking of running and feeling good, there's Alex, the Comic Hoarder. Nice to see you, Alex. Who says short hair first print in the second or variant with long hair. Yeah, exactly. Usually fall like once a year. Yeah, Alex, you take the good with the bad. See, the big difference between Alex the Comic Hoarder and Silver Age Dave is that if we were both outside running near each other at the same time, first thing, most people wouldn't know I'm running. And second thing, we wouldn't be near each other for long. Because Alex, I'm sure, is a speedster. I wouldn't doubt that you fall. It's probably when you try to stop and the inertia is so intense. It's so fast that it's impossible to stop on ice, Alex. So you got to slow down a little before you stop. So we got, good morning, William. Nice to see you. William Smallwood in the house. And so J-Boxer, those are the two. I opened them up. Thanks for pointing that out to me. And I would guess, Alex, that the Captain Marvel, which is the same exact situation, they have now multiple printings. If you haven't been to Walmart in a while, those books were out again maybe 3 weeks ago or so. That the long hair variant has a second printing now. Probably the same thing with the indica. So yep, Alex, I am a long distance guy. I think it evolves over time. I couldn't have done this when I was younger. I wasn't patient enough. That's the key, isn't it? Even in this hobby, I wasn't patient enough to run long distances. And hey, Mastodon, thanks for stopping in, man. Really appreciate you. There he is, Gray Man. I was just shouting you out, Gray Man, a little bit ago. Gray Man had a nice chat with Matilda Gothica yesterday. There is my Matilda Gothica original Swamp Thing, which I love. Sits up here in the comic room all the time where I can see it. And he had a nice little talk show, and I was listening in. Comic collectors in here. Nice to see a comic collector. Great videos. If I'm remembering correctly, Comic Collector does a lot of stuff. Matt, nice to see you. Good morning. Yeah, she did a great job on that one. I haven't seen a Matilda Gothica that I haven't liked. And I thought it was interesting because a lot of her stuff tends to be like the pops. And I love those. I love the Freedom she did a long time ago. A little shout out there to a great guy. But who we lost last year. So I love those pops, and I thought it was so interesting though to get one that wasn't a pop, and I love it. I think it is so cool. And anyone, Old Man Gamer, yep. Shout out to Chris. So anyway, so we talked about some of my speculation thoughts right in the very beginning of the video. We talked about Walmart. Next, I want to talk about eBay selling, which I've been doing. And initially, when I started selling on eBay, I thought, oh man, they take a big cut. But it's all part of the game. And they run a great business. I've been so happy with eBay. I know there's people out there who have gotten stung. I have fortunately yet to be stung. I had my first negative feedback a few weeks ago. A guy bought a $10 lot of nothing. It was these old toy dinosaurs from the 70s. And I basically gave them away. And I got the craziest negative feedback after I spent extra on postage and the stuff got there. And the guy praised me in like messaging how great I am as a seller, never change. We had a nice conversation. Then I got blasted. And he said, oh, that was a mistake. That wasn't meant for you. And so eBay is going to fix that for me. Great business. Anytime I've had a problem, I've called them. I did get stung once where I ordered a book and the book never got here. And it took them a few months, but eventually they credited me. And that was really nice. So I've been really, really happy with eBay. Recently, I sold a couple of expensive items on there. This is, kind of a shocker. I recently sold one of my Hulk 181s. And in the last 12 months, now I recently sold a Star Wars 35-cent variant. I've got a bunch of copies of those, but this is a number 4. That's an 8.5. Well, I sold my 8.0 copy. And I just, I received the payout on those books. And they're both big books. They're both expensive books. And my initial thought was, boy, that's a little disappointing. Because they took a big cut out of each of them. The 181, and they took a big cut out of the Star Wars book. But then upon further reflection, they're doing all the work. I don't have to own a store. I don't have to have insurance. I don't have to pay utilities. I don't have to do any of that stuff. I don't have to, focus on any of that stuff. All I need to do is take some high quality pictures and do a good job of shipping. So what I decided was the cut that they took was okay. So you'll never hear a complaint from me on eBay for the percentage they take, because I don't have even with like the channel. Some people sell through their channels. I never really wanted this channel to be that type of thing. And I buy on some of the auctions, and I've bought books privately from people, through YouTube community. But I never wanted the channel to be like, oh, tune in and buy some stuff. So I've just never done that. I've never really offered books here for sale. But as I've been starting to approach that point, I did see a speculation video the other day that was what you should hold on to. And again, it goes back to my original thoughts. It depends on your age, it depends on your place in life and your, the time you have. So, for me, I decided that I'm selling off some of the big multiples that I have. And eBay was as good a place as any for me to do that. Um, Let me see here. I hope I'm not missing anybody. So those were just some of my thoughts on eBay selling, which I put into the chat. I One of the things that can be frustrating is when you spend money on something, especially if it's big money on something, and the seller holds on to it for the longest time before shipping it. There's a lot of post office delays right now, and I think it's easy to criticize the post office. For the most part, they do a great job. I love my postal worker at work. They come in, they have a smile on their face, and always kind. We've gone through multiple post office workers. I've got no problems with the people that are on the street doing the walk-in and delivering. Big fan of what they do. There's delays right now, so frustrating, but I'll give them a pass. That's okay. And the great thing about our United States is we also have FedEx and UPS. So when I'm selling, what I've been doing is losing a fortune. I switched to someone else. I believe in full insurance. And if someone buys something from me today, I'm going to bend over backwards to have that book at the post office today. I don't want someone to have to wait 3 days before I start the process. So whenever possible, I am going to do my best. If it's a Saturday and they want USPS, I'm going to be, I'm going to be at the post office Saturday or Monday morning. I'm going to be one of the first people in line because I think someone's buying something from me, that's a treasure to them. And I want to make sure that I do everything I can to package it correctly and get it into the right hands safely and securely. So those are my thoughts on eBay. Okay, let me check in here. Again, my apologies if I'm missing anyone. Let's see here. I'm scrolling down. Yep, Matt only buys on eBay. No selling issues. That's great. Every time. Okay, we're talking about STL Comics maybe. Nobody ever wants to come off as taking advantage of the community. With that said, there's probably a lot of guys on here who would love a shot at some. Yeah, Alex, thank you. And again, I'm open to it. And I've had a couple of guys that wanted to buy books from me in the past, and no secrets here. I've had in the past some mental challenges because of prescriptions, and what I've learned, I made a big mistake, very expensive mistake, a few years ago, and when I didn't have clear thought and I did some things that weren't the best, and I moved some comic books along that I just got slaughtered on, just making mistakes. So if I'm not perfectly clear, then I just stop and I don't respond to emails. I don't respond to comments. I just kind of duck into the woodwork. That being said, I'm feeling great right now. And so I'm in that, kind of like an inchworm. You do that. That's how my life is, that I have to move when the moving's good. So thanks, Alex, for that. And you're entirely correct that, my goal for my books isn't to get them into the hands of a dealer or a wholesaler. My plan is to get these directly into the hands of people that are going to love them as much as I love them. And eBay's done that for me. I've been really happy so far with eBay. And maybe the community at some point might acquire some of this stuff out here. Who knows? We got Don Dizzle. Good morning, Don. Optimus Prime. Autobots transform. Thanks, Hop. Nice to see you. And we got Heroes to Icons. Nice to see you. Thank you so much. No Good Comics. Good morning. Nice to have you in here. So what we've covered already is we've covered speculation thoughts, Walmart, eBay selling, and comic room and collecting. What's been interesting for me is trying to redesign some of this collection. And what I've been doing is I'm moving a little bit away from the way I used to do things. I'm still collecting oddities. I'm in the process of making custom cases I've shared on these mini books, which I'm getting so close to a complete set, including variants on these, which is wildly satisfying. So I'm moving that direction to oddities, and um, and as I'm moving to those oddities, as you can imagine, I'm pretty scattered in what I like. But I'm trying to move to specialized things like the mini books. There hasn't been a big uh, uh, there hadn't been a lot of people collecting them, so I'm able to pick those off here and there if I'm smart about it. Not paying top dollar, but finding the things that are important to me that are needed. And there's other stuff out there. I'll be doing an unboxing in a few days, hopefully, of a really cool item that I picked up on eBay, and it wasn't. I don't think it was listed correctly, and I got it within minutes of it being listed. And within minutes of it being listed, I had communication with the seller, and we arranged a deal and ended up setting up a buy it now. And so that's a kind of a big deal to me. I'll be showing that one. But the collection room, what I'm doing in here, and I'm always open to thoughts and ideas on it. You can email me at silveragedave@gmail.com. No hyphen, two D's in Silveraged Dave. Um, what I'm doing is I'm turning this room here into just Marvel and DC, and then I'm going to have all the other stuff in another room. I've acquired an extra room. I feel like a ugly and untalented version of Alan Garrett. Less desirable Alan Garrett. I'm like the wax museum copy of Alan Garrett, that I have a second room now that I'm going to be doing. And I decided that I'm going to have a pure alphabet in this room. And then in the next room, which is straight through that wall, I'm going to have all the independents. It'll be everything from Walmart variant box to Gold Key and Dell and all that great stuff, Image and Vertigo. Each will have its own box that's alphabetized. So it'll be a alphabetized room, but each independently boxed. Okay, so that's where I'm moving. But if you have a better idea, please let me know. I just can't fit it all in this one room. And so rather than having half the alphabet in this room and half the alphabet in the other room, and I don't want to knock out the wall. Already did the mapping on it. It doesn't make sense. Other than that, I think this is the best way to do it. Hey, Ron Hensley. Ron Hensley was one of the winners of my Silver Age Dave 100/200 subscriber contest. And I just, it was a pleasure sending you that. And I so appreciate that that you have those books. And what I do for my collection is anytime I've received an AOK or won a contest, I had a period where I was winning a lot of contests. I always keep those books separate. So those books stay in a separate box with usually the letter from whoever sent them to me, kind of in their own divided section, which I absolutely love that. Poor Man's Comics, good morning. Kevin R., good morning. Phil, nice to see you. Hello, my friend. And let's see, Matt says he might be taking a break from the hobby soon, focus on wine and whiskey collection. Prices on books are getting high. Amen, Matt. You are very true in that statement. And I've taken lots of breaks. That's the other thing that happens with time is sometimes other things occur. And I've stepped away from this channel a few times where other life interests or things have popped up. And so very good. So that's the comic room and collecting. I'm still buying. I'm trying to focus in more sniper focused rather than the shotgunning I've done in the past. Maybe complete some of the things I've started. I've got these Superman cards up here that I keep. These are Superman gum cards. Okay, from I think these are from 1940. It might be late 30s. Yeah, 1940. And there's a whole big set of these in, as you can imagine, varying degrees of quality. I'm not as concerned about quality. I don't need any 10.0s. But I might, make a charge to complete that and a few other things. that I find interesting. And okay, so oh yeah, absolutely, Poor Man's Comics. I've got those books still, and like I said, those are separated out in in a box, and I like to reminisce on that stuff because hang on one second. As you know, um, as you know, my collection room was really, really out of hand. Hold on, guys. Was really, really out of hand for a long time because I'm overly romantic about this hobby. And so if I bought, hold on, guys. If I bought a collection of comics from a guy in the year 2006, then I wanted to keep those books always together. So I'd have a box labeled Steve's Books. And, I just eventually got so crazy, I had to, I just had to do it differently. So Poor Man's Comics is in here. Jim Bowers, another great community member. Jim Bowers has a section in the box. And I actually have still, let me grab my No Creepers Allowed. I still have Jim Bowers sent me a couple AOKs, but this is one of the AOKs. Let me see if I can do this the right way. There's an AOK from Jim Bowers right there that I keep in the bag because it's such a special one. And this was sent back in 2018. And I don't know if I ever even unboxed this one on a video, but Poor Man's Comics asked about, do I still have the books from his contest? So if you guys would like to see them, I'm doing all this talking and I'm doing no showing of comics. I unboxed these once when I won the contest, but this was, I need a No Creepers right here. This was Poor Man's Comics, June 28th to July 29th, 2018 contest. And I have his personal information on here, mailing address and email. But this is, so you got your own tab right there. And I'll put that up here. And so we got this beautiful letter. Congrats on winning my subs contest. Here are your prizes. Enjoy. And look what we have in here. We're going to celebrate. I've got Ben Compton. Love seeing you, Ben, and Kingdom Comics. Nice to see you, Tito. What a cool little group of people we have this morning. So we've got the Spider-Man #1. Can't get enough of those. We've got the Image Comics Preview 2016. And I forget... I haven't been into these in quite a while. I forget on this one. This Moonshine series. I collected those. I really enjoyed the Moonshine series for a long time. But we had that. We had Gardens of the Galaxy #13 in there. Preview 7 to Eternity. Okay. You know what? I am so disappointed. I had that 7 to Eternity in my hand. Yep, there it is. 7 to Eternity preview. And I remember picking it up and I thought, man, this is a cool cover. And I don't know why I put it down. And I always buy, 2 or 3 or 4. And I don't know why I put it down because that was really a cool cover. And so, yep, thank you. This is Guardians of the Galaxy #13. We've got Elementals, if I could talk, Declassified. We've got Skate Man by Neil Adams. We've got Red Sonja. I always think of Area 51 whenever I see a Red Sonja cover. Great member of the community. He's like a lot more of a toy and statue guy, but still always enjoyable. True gentleman. And, Adam Hughes covers. There's one that Alex Comic Hoarder would certainly love then. Very cool. We got Alpha Flight 51. Great book to have. We've got this Batman 26. That's a great cover. We've got Deathmate. That's the black variant. God Country. Look at that. Love God Country in there. And it's funny how books develop. You know, something that's like a hot list book, and then it becomes red hot. And God Country #1. What a great book. You did give away good prizes. Hey, no take backs, right? 348 Fantastic Four is in there. And we've got X-Force #8 in there. Beautiful. Heroes Inc., which this was, I think there was only one or two in this whole series, but that's if memory serves me. Memory doesn't always serve me, but these are always cool, and I always think they are underappreciated. These should be worth a lot more than they're worth. I love having these, and so that's really cool. And patting myself on the back. Whacked, The Adventures of Tanya Harding and Her Pals, which is just beautiful. That is so funny. The River Group. That is my only copy of that comic. I guarantee you that's my only copy of that one. And it's hard to stump the band in Silver Age Dave land. And we got Supergirl #5 from the New 52. And let's see what else we have. Legion of Superheroes. Great cover to have. Great book to have there. And we've got Birds of Prey #69. And then what has become kind of hot, right? We've got a Spawn #1 newsstand, right? Gotta love the newsstand. I wish C. Woodard was here right now to say newsstand for all of us. But we all can hear him. It's kind of in the, in our memory. We hear him saying it. And I can't copycat him. I can't imitate him, but there's a newsstand Spawn 1. Beautiful book. So thank you so much. Poor Man's Comics. So as it goes, I don't know how I got talking about, but I'm very sentimental about, these particular things. So all these contests that I've won, any AOKs that get sent here, I am sentimental. I really do appreciate them, and I do keep them sequestered. And those are books that I don't plan to sell. I don't plan to offer. They're just going to hang out and be part of the room, and and just be here part of me. So thank you guys for those of you who've sent stuff or been generous with time or talent, like Matilda Gothica. I have my friend Ray Tran, who's done a couple beautiful pieces of artwork that he has sent me. There's a Silver Age Dave Red Hulk, which is just awesome, and that is just beautiful. And he's got a video of the making of that too. And then I just love those. So anyway, so we had that, and I wanted to talk about something because there's a lot going on. I wanted to talk about, and this gets off the subject of comics a little bit, but I think it still ties in. That's really funny, Matt. I like that comment. After giving those away, I know why you're called Poor Man's Comics. Yeah, that was a great, generous giveaway. They all are. I think anytime someone separates with treasures for the good of the community, I think it's a show of character and generosity. So there are contests sometimes that you say, oh, those books aren't so good. But the idea isn't the books themselves. It's the act of kindness, right? The AOK, which truly in definition means, generosity and kindness, because no one has to give things away. So thanks again. Hey, we got Hialeah in here. Nice to see you, Hialeah. So I want to talk about kindness in pain, okay? There's a lot of things that we go through over time that are very difficult things, and they can slow you down and they can sideline you. In my case, I've gone through some, pretty heavy emotional tolls over the course of life, and sometimes you get sidelined. Sometimes you get put permanently out of commission, and it's important not to give up, not to just throw in the towel and say, I quit. So as painful as it is, sometimes you got to get back out there and, whether it be trusting again or, just putting that one foot in front of the other. Those are important things in life in general. And, the state of the world, I think there's always been a lot of things to get upset about. But if you are always focused on those things to be upset about, that's going to be your life. You're going to live in misery. You're going to live in that suffering zone. And you got to find ways to get outside of that zone. And I don't know, as comic collectors, if we're all that much, out there. By nature, I'm more reclusive. I'm more solitary. And that was beautiful back in the old D&D days. I found my little group of friends that I played D&D with, and that was fine for me. Comic collecting, very solitary for a long time. And, the risk of that is you get off on your own and you stay that way. So you got to find things in life that bring you out. And for me, I've got a variety of things. Certainly this channel and mixing with you guys is a beautiful thing. Very good for me. Therapeutic. I feel like I should lay down on my couch and do these videos sometimes. But that's just a joke. But it's really wonderful having access to the community. But there's other things out there in life. And, I found running quite a while ago. Really 2011 is when I started my running. So, 10 years now. And I've come a long way with running. But I did something the other day which was really interesting. I went into an Ollie's, which I am addicted to Ollie's now, by the way. I love Ollie's. We have an Ollie's now for the first time in Toledo and near my house. And so I go into Ollie's a lot. But Ollie's happen to have these things. And these are Christmas gingerbread houses. They were $3.99. They were originally $6.99 somewhere, who knows. And then, Ollie's had them for $3.99. Then they had them for $1.99. They had a whole cart full of them. And I was buying some trades, and I happened to see this whole cart. In Silver Age Dave brain is always, let's make a deal time, right? So I said, hey, is there a manager around? Let's make a deal. And I ended up buying a cart full of these. There were 27 of them for $7. That was the offer I made. And the lady, and some of them, like you can see, this one's broken. What are they going to do with it, right? So I ended up buying 27 of these things. I had a picture I put into my van, and I put them in my van, and I took a picture, and I sent it to my wife, and I said, look what I did. And she always thinks I'm crazy anyway, so it's, no big deal there. I don't even know where the picture is. I was going to show you guys the picture. It was pretty funny. I must have just texted it to her. But anyway, so now I have 27 of those. And you say to yourself, Silver, what are you doing with 27 of those? Well, one, I'm a multiples guy. I love multiples in comic collecting and in everything else. Okay, if I have two hammers, I always think to myself, oh, I should really have a third hammer in case one of those hammers breaks, right? But in this case, what I do with these, the back of our house, we have a yard. I've shown my yard in videos. It's very private, very nice, and I love gardening. But we have outside our back of our house is all windows, all the way across. We have all these big windows. And we have all kinds of squirrels and wildlife. Sometimes we'll get a deer in the backyard. And so what I did was I said, you know what? I love feeding the squirrels. I want to have the fattest squirrels on the whole neighborhood living in Silver's yard. So what I've been doing every morning, I've been putting out a gingerbread house. And it's pretty cold, 20 degrees and snow and ice. And so every day I put out a gingerbread house. And now what happens on the mornings where I forget to put out the gingerbread house, I got like this pack of squirrels that hangs out on my deck, and they're looking in the windows. And they're not exactly eating out of my hand yet, but I'm sure by the end of it, they will be very large and slovenly, and they might not be able to move as fast. But that's what I'm doing with these. So the idea here, what we're talking about is, what do you do when you have pain? Is I think it has to start with kindness and generosity. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm being generous to my little squirrel friends who don't talk back to me. They don't tell me I'm wrong, and it's a pretty easy relationship. So I'm fostering that easy relationship, and every day I'm feeding them a gingerbread house. And Mrs. Silver Age Dave, which originally she thought, you're crazy. Why did you buy 27? We're never going to be able to get rid of them all by the time the squirrels are eating nuts and berries and things like that. But I think we will get rid of them, and I'm having a blast with it. So, it's a little step when you're feeling down to finding something. Running wise, I am feeling miserable since September. I have felt miserable. I feel like I'm running on dead legs. But what I do is I put my gear on, whether it's cold out or rainy or snowy or whatever it is. I'm putting the gear on and I'm putting in those first few steps. And once I get going, I feel much better. So kindness and pain, the deal is don't get stuck in the pain. That's too easy. It's beneath us all. And just find a way, no matter how small, to put a smile on your own face. And then, like I've said in the past, that smile on your face is eventually going to put a smile on someone else's face. And that's healing and that's good stuff. So sorry to get all like deep on you guys there, but I was thinking about it and I felt like sharing that gingerbread house thing. I'm sure the Ollie's near you, or, Walmart, or, Meyer store, or whatever you have, I'm sure they've got some of these in a cart somewhere that they're just going to end up throwing out. So you might as well feed your squirrels, get a smile on your face. So we got James Higgins in here. Nice to see you, James Higgins. Always good to have you. Gold Gauntlet Comics. We'd have red ants everywhere. Well, I'm not encouraging red ants, and it's cold here, so we don't have any problem with bugs right now. Certainly, I'm not going to put food like this out. And where I put this is pretty high up where mice can't get to it, because when you put out food, you're going to invite all manners of creatures in. And so right now it's where squirrels and birds can get them, and I don't have the ant problem. But yeah, that's point of measure. Hey, Poor Man's Comics, thanks for joining us. 4-color commentary, nice to see you. Thank you so much for jumping in. Fourth Age, that's what's up with the gingerbread house. So we talked about that, guys, and it's been, what is this, 52 minutes. If everybody's good, I think I am going to be moving on with my day. I've got a busy day of paying bills and figuring out taxes and all that joyful stuff that comes with grown-up life. Really had a blast chatting with you guys. And yeah, wife and son have kept running through the winter. I always say I'm just going to run a couple miles and end up doing the full 5. Good for you, James Higgins. There's there's all kinds of ways to feel better, and running or walking or jogging or anything that gets you fresh air and a little sunshine, that's beautiful, in my humble opinion. Guys, you're important to me and I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being part of the channel. I've said in the past, it's our channel, not my channel, and always appreciate people that stop in and spend a little time with me. This happens to be a Thursday. First day of the weekend, one of my favorite 7 days of the week, and I'm thinking of you. I'm appreciating you. Silver Age Dave is out. Oh, I just saw Ron, does Gwen have a favorite hero? I'm going to answer that one real quick because I won't get back to it very often. I took her to Fantasticon to get her personalized sketch by Scoop McMahon of Spider-Gwen. He does these characters, and he uses the people. I showed off my daughter Haley, who he made into Haley Quinn quite a while ago. Beautiful version of that. He just an amazing artist, and that looks just like her. And so I took Gwen 2 years ago to Fantasticon, and I said, okay, sweetie, we're going to get your Spider-Gwen. And she decided she wanted to be Super Gwen instead. So I think Supergirl is going to be her favorite character. And thanks for asking that, Ron. I really appreciate you, buddy. You guys have a great day. I'm going to work hard. Later tonight, I'm going to run 3 to 5 miles, and I'm going to go to bed in a happy place. You guys are all part of that. Silver Age Dave, again, is out.